What's going on, everybody? It's a big boxing weekend. We have Shakur Stevenson in a unification match. This is for the WBC and WBO Super Featherweight Championship fight against Oscar Valdez. Valdez is bringing his BC belt. Shakur is bringing his BO belt, and there's going to be a unification. I love unifications because it brings us closer to undisputed. Whether they'll ever undispute that division, I don't think so because of, the politics and how boxing works. But I like the possibility. I like the idea of having less champions because they're unifying. And so yeah, this fight, that's a big fight that weekend. Also, Keyshawn Davis is fighting on the undercard. He's facing one of his a big step up. Last I heard, he was fighting a guy who was 18-1, but when I checked BoxRec, they don't put his opponent just yet. So I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe the opponent pulled out or something happened. But from what I understand, he's having a really big step up, especially for a guy who is 4-0. So that's going to be also Nico Ali Walsh for whoever is a fan of that guy. He's also going to be on the card. And then in New York City, my hometown, Madison Square Garden, we're going to have the biggest women's boxing match in history. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for undisputed. This is a big fight. It's in the lightweight division, by the way. Amanda Serrano is the naturally smaller fighter, but she has experience moving up and down weight classes, fighting tough girls and stuff like that. And Katie Taylor is a very accomplished amateur gold medalist and somebody who is now going to be in her biggest fight as well. A lot of people try to make it seem like, oh, Amanda Serrano, this is the biggest fight of her career and this and that. And it's like, okay, this is Katie's biggest fight of her career too. And you can say the Olympics was a bigger fight than this. But first of all, the Olympics, probably like 19 people saw that fight, her Olympic fight, at least live. No, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how is that her biggest fight? And it was for free. So this is her biggest fight. This is in a big room in Madison Square Garden. And again, this is the first time Amanda Serrano is getting paid over $1 million. I believe both women are making over $1 million, if I'm not mistaken. This is a big fight in women's history. It's for undisputed. There's also another female fight on the undercard that's for undisputed. Franchon Cruz against I forget her opponent's name. I'll be honest, I'm not too hip to the women's boxing. I am familiar with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor because as I mentioned before, I have a relationship. Well, I don't stay too much in contact, but I know Amanda for a long time, and I want to root for her, so I follow her career. So that fight is also, yeah, sorry. That also on the card is Liam Smith versus Jesse Vargas for whoever would find that entertaining. Jesse Vargas was somebody who was trying to, be in politics and stuff like that. I guess that didn't work out because he's back boxing again. And Liam Smith, we're familiar with him. Obviously the opponents he's fought and lost to, but hey, he's making his run back, and we're gonna see how that fight goes. But this is a big fighting weekend. But the question of the day is, which fight is bigger? I don't know. Like, do you find Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor the bigger fight? Is that the fight you're more excited about because it's for undisputed? And it's also a fight that's been talked about for what, 3 years? Maybe even longer. I'm not too sure. Are you more excited for that fight, or are you excited for the idea of the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez? Another fight that's been talked about for a while. If you remember, Shakur Stevenson was Oscar Valdez's mandatory at 126 until before Oscar Valdez moved up. So that's a fight that was brewing in another weight class. It wasn't as anticipated as the Amanda Serrano Katie Taylor fight in the sense that wasn't like the fight, but it was a fight that people wanted to see and they didn't get, and now they're finally getting. I want to know what you guys think. Which fight is the bigger fight? And to be honest, I'll give you my opinion. The bigger fight in terms of who's going to see it more, it's probably going to be Shakur Stevenson. One, it's on ESPN for free. So if you have cable and you have ESPN, you can watch the fight. So that's just one. And men boxing tends to have more attention towards it than women's boxing. But in terms of importance, in terms of buzz that I've seen on the internet between the hardcores, I gotta go Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. I'll be honest with you. I see people going back and forth on the internet, including myself, about this fight. And it's also the more competitive fight. More people are picking Katie, and like it's more even. Some people picking Katie, some people picking Amanda. When the odds opened up, Katie Taylor was the favorite. Now you check the sports book, Katie Taylor is now the underdog. So there's people betting on both sides, and then you got Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. I haven't met one person that's picking Oscar Valdez, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. I do interact with a lot of people. That's why I always tell people, yo, follow me on Twitter @_Broadway Joel. Because if you tweet at me, I'll tweet you back. Some people DM me and I DM them back and any questions they got. So I don't really see a lot of discussion about this fight. I see a lot of people saying like, oh, this is going to be Shakur's coming out party. This is going to be where, we're excited and watch. He's going to get a stoppage or he's going to have a tough go of it, but he's definitely going to win. And when you have a fight that's predictable like that, and even if we may be wrong, who knows? Oscar Valdez may come out and win. Who knows? Crazier things have happened in boxing. When you have a fight like that so many people view as I will say a competitive mismatch, is going to be less buzz around the fight. If this was more of a 50-50 fight, if there was 50% on Oscar Valdez side and 50% on Shakur Stevenson side, and they were going at it back and forth on internet, I would say that was the more, I guess, the bigger fight. I mean, I don't know. I'm caught in between. I guess it depends your definition of big. I think more people are going to watch Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, but I think the bigger fight in terms of importance, in terms of significance, in terms of history, is definitely Amanda versus Katie. But and by the way, for the people concerned, like, oh my God, there's two fights on the same day. Eddie Hearn came out and said that the fight between Katie Taylor and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is going to be over before the start of the Oscar Valdez Shakur Stevenson fight. So if you're going to be home and you're like, damn, I only have one TV, my phone's dead, my laptop is not working or whatever, your dog ate your homework, you're going to be able to watch both fights. Once the Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano fight is over, flick that channel over to ESPN and you're going to be able to watch it. I'm excited for both fights. Going to have Katie and Amanda on my phone and Shakur. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because again, like I mentioned, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano and is going to come on first, is starting at an earlier time. And then Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez is going to happen. And by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, ESPN has been putting on their fights very late. Like I'm talking about these regular fights, the undercards be starting at 10 p.m. Like I remember going to the Berlanga fight and like being like, yo, like I got home like at 2:30 in the morning. I was going to live stream afterwards. I figured, the fight, after the fight, I'll go home. I'll be home by like 12. I'll live stream to my audience and we could talk about it. I'll give my post-fight breakdown. Yo, I got home like at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, so it was pretty crazy how that happened. So you're going to be staying up late this Saturday. If you're going to watch both fights, make sure you got your coffee ready, got your Red Bull ready, you got your Monster Energy, all that situation. How's the Stevenson undercard? I haven't checked. Well, the Stevenson undercard, shout out to Randy, by the way. You have Keyshawn Davis. They removed his opponent, which I don't know if something happened to his opponent, but last I seen, he was fighting a guy who was 18-1. Keyshawn Davis is 4-0. He's fighting a guy 18-1. That's very impressive. Very impressive. I even if the guy's a bum, he had 19 fights and you only got 4. It's pretty significant step up considering his last fight. I was actually at his last fight when he fought on the Lomachenko Comey undercard. The guy he fought a cab driver. No disrespect to the cab driver, but that's the type of opponents you fight when you're 3-0. But 2-0 actually. Oh no, yes, 3-0. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's fighting a guy who's 18-1, which is impressive to me. And there's also Nico Ali Walsh that's fighting on the undercard. I'm not sure if that that excites you, Randy, but yeah, that's what's gonna be on the undercard. Let me see if they updated it. Let me see if they updated. Also, I have updated news on who Edgar Berlanga's fight. Also, how that undercard is going to be. I'll address that once I check the undercard for Shakur Stevenson for my man Randy. See if they updated it. True. All right. Yeah, they did. All right, perfect. So let me screen share for you guys and show you the undercard. I'm gonna show you the undercard for both, and then I'm gonna talk about the Edgar Berlanga fight coming June 11th. Who he's gonna fight and who's gonna fight on the undercard. So Andres Cortez, he's 16-0. He's fighting Alexis Del Bosque, 18-5-1. Raymond Murataya is 13-0. By the way, Raymond Murataya, he's a very, very talented fighter. I rate him high as a prospect. So I'm definitely going to be checking for that fight. He's fighting Jeremy Hill, who's 16-2. I like that fight. You know, it's a pretty significant step up. And again, I'm really high on Raymond Murataya. I believe Raymond Murataya trains with Robert Garcia. So, you know, he has a good trainer. Keyshawn Davis, as I mentioned, he's 4-0. He's fighting Esteban Sanchez, who's 18-1. So, like I mentioned, hey, you find a guy with 19 fights and he only lost once. Let me see if that one fight was by stoppage. Yeah, it was by stoppage. Guy's 23 years old. He's a young guy, 5'10". I don't know. Let's see who he's beat, though. Let's see who he's beat. All right. He's beaten a bunch of nobodies, but point is, still 19 fights. That's still significant to me, especially when you're 4-0. Nico Ali Walsh is fighting Alejandro Ibarra, who's 7-1. Who has this guy beat? This guy's 7-1. He got knocked out in his one loss. Yeah, and those wins is I'm not gonna shit on it too much. And then there's Antoine Cobb, and he's fighting Jalen Phillips. I don't know who's that. Antoine Cobb is 1-0. I've never seen him fight, to be honest with you. All right, and let's look up the undercard for the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight, just so you guys are up to date in case you got, because you know the zone they stream the whole card, so that's one thing I do like about the zone. So hold on, let me screen share this real quick. Boom. All right. So you have Jesse Vargas versus Liam Smith. I have brought that up already. You guys should be familiar with both of those guys. Austin Williams, 10-0 versus Chordale Booker, who's 17-0. This is for the vacant WBA Continental America's middleweight title. The only reason I bring that up, when you win these kind of like regional titles, you get ranked real high in the rankings. So this is a pretty significant fight. I'm not too familiar with Chordale Booker, but he's 17-0. And you know, I like Austin Williams. I've seen him a bunch of times. Ammo Williams, he's 10-0 with 8 knockouts. So he's a puncher. I like him. I actually feel like Eddie Hearn has done a good job putting him in the right cards, by the way. Then you have Franchon Cruz Dezern versus Elin Cederos. This is for undisputed fight. All 4 belts in the super middleweight women's divisions. This is a pretty significant fight in women's boxing. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with these women. I don't follow women's boxing too much besides Amanda. Yeah, there's also Galal Jafai. He's fighting Miguel Cartagena for the WBC Intercontinental Fly title. Galal Jafai, he's actually an Olympian. I believe he won gold. Let me double check that. No, he did not win gold. I'm sorry. But I'm confusing with his brother. Anyways, he's an Olympian. He's 1-0, 1 knockout. He's fighting a guy who's 17-6-1. So that, and for regional title, so he's going to be ranked. There's also Rashad Mati. Rashad Mati is actually from New York City. He's Albanian. He actually went viral as like a 12-year-old because he of how hard he was working and they did it like a whole thing of how he's going to be the next big thing when he was like 12, 13. I actually met him when he was young, and now he's a pro fighter. He's fighting Joe Eli Hernandez. Then Khalil Cole is fighting. He's 2-0-1. He's fighting William Langston, 6-2. And then this Sky Nicholson, who a lot of guys are very attracted to her. She's 2-0, and she's fighting Shaneka. I can't pronounce that. Paisley Davis. So that pretty much rounds out the undercard. Let me give you guys, let me pin the link to the top of the chat in case you guys want to call in. Let me do that. Dynamic duo, shout out to you. Hello, fellow dad. Good vibes. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, so you guys are. Oh, D Style in the chat. Shout out to you, my brother. What's going on? I think it's bigger because of all the media it's getting because of its significance. Yeah, no, as I was talking it out, I agreed with you, but I don't think more people are gonna watch that fight than are gonna watch the Shakur Stevenson fight. Oh, shout out to you, brother. That BAM undercard, June 25th, all championship fights. We lit in San Antonio this summer, July 9th. Also, Alamo Dome, Vargas versus Magsayo. What Michael is referring to, so the zone, they really stepped up their game. They are going to be putting on a card. Hold on, let me find the fight poster so you guys can see. They're putting on one of the best cards in all of boxing. I'll be honest with you. If you have the zone, you don't have to pay. There's no pay-per-view, no none of that. There's none of that. Shout out to the zone for making this card. Let me screen share for you guys at the fight poster just so you guys can have an idea and get excited for what's to come. So this is Bam Rodriguez versus Rung Vasai for the WBC super flyweight title. This is a big step up in competition. I know Bam Rodriguez just fought Quadras, but I wouldn't put Quadras in the same level as Rung Vasai. Also, you have Jose Luis, the guy, Martinez, Julio Cesar Martinez. Sorry, Julio Cesar Martinez. He's fighting Arroyo. I don't know if you guys remember. They actually fought before, but then the accidental clash of heads ruled it a no contest. Jessica McCaskill is going to be defending her undisputed, I believe, what weight class is she? Is she featherweight? I don't remember. She's defending her undisputed titles. And then you have Akhmadaliev, the 2-belt 122-pounder fighting Rios. So this is a stack card. And for the people who like the little guys, this is something definitely to get excited for. I know damn well I would be watching, and if I didn't have a newborn baby at home, my ass would be on a plane to Texas trying to watch all those fights live. All right, hold on. Someone wants to see the O to go. Valdez versus Stevenson. Yeah, someone's always got to go. I think that's what you were trying to say. Absolutely, someone's always got to go. And I love when undefeated, especially champions, are unifying. That's great for the sport. That's not good for the sport. That's great for the sport because when you unify, there's 4 belts. But let's say now you unify. Now there's only 3 champions. You took one out. There's only 2 more fight. And if these 2 can fight, then you only have 2 champions. And then guess what? You 2 fight is for undisputed. And undisputed fights, I don't care what people tell me, it is the best thing for boxing. The undisputed fights clarifying who's the best in the division, who's the champion in the division, and not, oh, this guy's a super and the regular. Oh, this guy got the WBC belt, has more history. No, but the WBA is the oldest, belt, and this and that is like, no. When you're unifying and you become undisputed, that's what the best thing for the sport. And by the way, guys, I just pinned the link to the top of the chat. So anybody who wants to call in, ask me a question, debate me, or anything like that, please click that link. We can have a conversation. I can have you on the show. Remember also, bro, Manny Pacquiao vacant Ring Magazine belt is on the line for this fight too. What? Manny Pacquiao vacant Ring Magazine belt. What fight are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about for the Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson fight. Yes, it is for the Ring Magazine belt, which I do find weird because when Oscar Valdez tested positive for fentanyl, they took him off the rankings. Let me see if I can go to their website if he's still off the rankings. And the Ring Magazine belt is supposed to be when the number 1 guy is facing the number 2 guy. And I don't know if this is it in the division. and how somebody you took off your rankings, now you're trying to put him in position to fight for the 130, like for the Ring Magazine. But it makes no sense to me. I'll be honest. Yeah, hold on. Let me show this. Let me screen share the rankings at Ring Magazine. And then hopefully they can help make that make sense to me. So this is the rankings for the 130-pound division. So they have Shakur Stevenson ranked number 1 and Jamel Herring ranked number 2. Rakhimov 3. They have Roger Gutierrez 4. Conceição 5. Kenichi Ogawa 6. Oshaki Foster 7. My Dominican brother Hector Luis Garcia coming in at number 8. Y'all know I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. I had to get a little excited for that. You have Samir Ziani at number 9, and at number 10 you have Eduardo Ramirez. So how is somebody who's not ranked in your ranking system fighting for the Ring Magazine Championship belt? The Ring Magazine Championship belt should only be when the number 1 guy fights the number 2 guy. And you don't have them in your rankings, bro. So not that I'm against this being for the Ring Magazine. I'm just more confused as to what we making up the rules as they go along. You taking him off the rankings, but if he fights Shakur, he can fight for your fucking belt. That makes no sense to me. I don't know who I would hit up for them to explain it to me. The president of Ring Magazine or anything like that. I don't know. But it's weird to me. It's weird to me that they went about taking him off the rankings, but now are letting him fight for their belt. But this should be a good fight. I'll give my breakdown now as to how I see the fight going. So basically, how I see the fight going is I see Shakur Stevenson coming out a little bit aggressive, and then realizing that he can't just run up on Oscar Valdez like that. Oscar Valdez, although he lost, I felt like he lost to Conceição. There were a lot of circumstances with the distractions as far as him having to explain himself about giving a positive test and the fight still going through. So I don't think his head was fully in it. So I do think Shakur Stevenson is going to come out a little bit aggressive, kind of like how he did against Herring, but is going to get touched up and is going to lose the first 2-3 rounds, or maybe even 4 rounds. But then once I see that happen, I feel like Shakur is going to adjust, figure out Oscar Valdez's rhythm, what he likes and what he doesn't like. Is going to turn it up and is going to get a stoppage in the 11th round. I know that's not a popular opinion. Most people are picking Shakur Stevenson by decision, but I don't see it that way. I think Shakur Stevenson is an experienced enough fighter where he can land and overwhelm Oscar Valdez at times. And yes, although Oscar Valdez is a tough guy, fought with a broken jaw. And by the way, the guy who broke his jaw came in, 3.5 pounds overweight, 2.5 pounds overweight. So the guy was significantly bigger than him. He went and made it through the fight and ended up winning the fight. So I know he's a tough guy, but I just think that at some point, like when you're taking a lot of punishment, the referee or your corner may look at it and just go, you know what, you had enough. And I'm picking the 11th round stoppage. That's the way I see that fight. As far as how I see the Amanda Serrano fight versus Katie Taylor, I see that fight going where Amanda Serrano comes out guns blazing because she's an offensive machine. And Katie Taylor, although she's going to give her trouble boxing and moving, she's also herself gonna not expect a naturally smaller fighter, because if we're being honest, Amanda Serrano's really a featherweight. That's the weight class she should be fighting at. But she's gonna be surprised just how hard Amanda Serrano hit, how aggressive she is. And I got Katie winning maybe the first 2-3 rounds, and then I have Amanda dropping her like maybe once or twice after that, like maybe in the 5th or 6th round, and then pretty much just putting it on her all the way to a 10th round decision. I don't like that women's boxing matches are 2 minutes. I don't mind that championship fights are 10 rounds. I'll be honest with you. Whatever, that's fine. If that's the way the ladies want to do it, that's cool. But come on, give me a full 3-minute rounds. And I thought it was telling where Amanda was like, hey, we can make this a 3-round fight. We could send in a contract to the commission. And Katie was like, no, we already were done with negotiations. And I do understand if you do want something or something change, you do ask for it in the in the negotiations, not, after everything's signed, sealed, and delivered. But I also think that, maybe 3-minute rounds will benefit the puncher because she will have more chance to knock you out, more chance to stop you. So I do see where Katie Taylor is coming from as far as there. But yeah, that's how I see the fight. I got Shakur Stevenson, 11th round stoppage, and then I have Amanda Serrano winning by decision. So I have a caller in, my man, Coach Frankie, fellow dad. What's going on, my brother?
Not much. And first, congratulations.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. I really, really do.
I don't agree with you on the Valdez and Stevenson. I got to throw that out there right away.
Okay. Let's go. Break it down, my brother.
Well, Stevenson's going to pick him apart. And if Valdez does try to get technical, it's not going to happen. All right, we'll agree that Stevenson will get it. But Valdez hits hard, and we haven't seen that kind of power against Stevenson, especially to the body. So that's where I'm kind of wondering, will that slow him down? Will Stevenson get cocky and give Valdez that moment? And that moment might be the chance for Valdez to get a TKO.
So you got Valdez winning by TKO?
I think so, because I don't see a decision for Valdez. There's no way I can see that. The only way it can happen is a TKO.
Well, you don't think that Stevenson's defense is enough to nullify, maybe even make it a boring fight if he feels the punches from Valdez, where he goes, oh, hold on, this guy can crack. You know what? Let me just sit on the back foot and now box him and get the decision this way.
If he was to play it safe like that, but I don't see Stevenson doing that. I could see him getting cocky. He's a good fighter. I take nothing away from him. That 0 is there for a reason. But I can see overconfidence, and that's where I'm thinking Valdez is going to take that chance. Plus, when I was watching Blood, Sweat, and Tears from ESPN, Valdez is really banking on that moment, that one moment to for him to get comfortable, cocky, and then just capitalize it.
I honestly, I don't see Valdez as like too confident, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. He doesn't seem confident enough where he's like, no, I'm gonna perform. And you can't make too much of that because this times people don't look confident, then they go in and they have a great performance. But I don't ignore little body language signs and how he's speaking about the fight, and people still asking him about the phentermine and all that stuff. So, but I do agree that he is a puncher. And that's why I said that he's going to win the first 3-4 rounds, because I feel like Shakur is going to come out aggressive. He's going to feel the power and go, whoa, adjust, and then turn it up while adjusting, knowing that he's facing a puncher.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. But I actually think Stevenson will take it in the beginning because Valdez is going to try to feel him out instead of just charging in like a bull. And Stevenson will just pick him apart. But then there's that moment. That's what's going to build the confidence where it's like, oh, I got this. And that little brief moment is where I'm really thinking that's where Valdez is going to capitalize on it. Like I said, if it goes to decision, man, I got Stevenson.
What round? Because the official pick is Oscar Valdez, not TKO. What round do you think he TKOs Stevenson?
Man, that's a real good question.
It's because this is recorded. So if you're wrong or if you're right, it's on camera.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's really good. My money's on 10th or 11th. I don't see it early.
10th or 11th. Okay. All right. So we see it the same way, just flipped, basically. Because I'm picking Shakur Stevenson by 11th round TKO. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you interested in the ladies this Saturday, or is women boxing not your thing?
I respect the ladies. Unfortunately, it's just not enough fighters to really make it exciting. And as far as what's her name again? Not Amanda Serrano, the opponent, Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor doesn't have punching power, so it's not going to be too interesting to me.
Yeah, but she has a significant amateur background, so she's a good boxer, and she's undefeated. So and she's bringing a lot of belts to the table. So she definitely has something to back her up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but when they're not a threat, I mean, 20 wins with only 6 knockouts. That's
but honestly, in women's boxing, that's the norm. The norm is the most women don't knock women out. People get misguided because Amanda Serrano was knocking a lot of people out, but Amanda Serrano could crack. She's one of the few. There's people few and far between. Same thing with Clarissa Shields. That's one of the reasons why I don't feel Clarissa Shields is a big star in America, because she don't knock people out. And it's not because she don't got power. Like, just most women just are not punchers. That's just the way, biology is. It's not necessarily a knock on her or on Katie. But I do agree with you. Having a lack of power with somebody who does, like Amanda, prevents you from keeping them off of you. That's one of the things that why I don't like necessarily fighters who don't have power, because I need to know that if you're in trouble, the person in front of you is scared enough to not just charge you. If you're hurt, the person who's trying to finish the job has to go, let me not rush in too much because this guy can crack, or this, in this case, this lady can crack, So I don't like the fact that Katie doesn't have that if I'm a Katie Taylor fan, but I'm not a Katie Taylor fan. I'm rooting for Amanda. Amanda's my girl. Again, she's from Brooklyn, just like me. So I'm going to be rooting hard for her.
I agree with you. Amanda's going to take it, though.
Good.
That one. You want to throw out there about Nico Ali Walsh, though. How they're bringing him up.
Well, what do you want to know about him?
About the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
He's not?
I'm just saying they're bringing up. We got to talk about the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
I actually saw him fight live on the Lomachenko-Comey fight. I wasn't impressed. He looks very slow, very like not fluid. Like, I like a fighter who's fluid and can move. Which is why I didn't like the performance of Tim Tszyu. I don't know if you saw that fight when he fought Terrell Gausha on March 26th. I ain't like that. I ain't like his performance because he looked very straight up and down, very stripped, head in the center. And it's kind of like somewhat of what I've seen from Nico Ali Walsh. He looked very stiff, slow, was telegraphing his punches. I don't think he has a future, but hey, you never know. I'm not going to sit here and doubt him. I believe that anybody in the world can do anything they want as long as they work hard at it. But let's see. He did pick up boxing late, but he does have a good lineage of blood in him. We'll see.
But are we looking at it like we automatically expect him to have his grandfather's skill?
No. But you're right. I guess I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be Muhammad Ali. I don't think Tyson Fury is gonna be Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? There's only one Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm not big on Nico Ali Walsh, but some people like it. Some people enjoy it. Some people look at it like kind of like how they look at Jake Paul. Some people find it entertaining. Some people don't.
He brought him up.
Hey, and bringing him up is relevant because he's the promoter of Amanda Serrano. He's the one who's getting Amanda Serrano that $1 million payday. He's the one he's part of history, making the biggest fight in women's history. The first time a women's fight is headlining in the big room in Madison Square Garden. So he's actually a relevant person to bring up today.
No, that's true. Mm-hmm. It's kind of sad, though, that it took that for it to happen. But part of it is what you were saying earlier about how women should have 3-minute rounds. I mean, that extra minute would probably make a difference. And
we would get more knockouts. Because think about it. How many times do we see, a fighter saved by the bell in men's boxing? Imagine women's. If you're only getting 2 minutes, excuse me, and you're getting 10 rounds instead of 12. So it's like, there's a lot of differences as far as how the opportunity of getting knocked out, on top of the fact that they don't hit as hard as men.
But they could always make up for it with the intensity, though. And it still comes down to just saved by the bell with the 2 minutes. Like you were just saying, many times men that happened.
No, you're right.
They robbed them of opportunities. I mean, we shouldn't treat them any differently. Give them the same opportunities as us.
I agree. I totally agree. But all right, Coach Frankie. By the way, you a coach? What do you coach?
I coach boxing, kickboxing. I may go back to doing jiu-jitsu.
That's what's up. Yo, first I want to say, I like to give love to all coaches because y'all donating your time to the kids. So first of all, thank you so much for doing that for the community. And I appreciate you calling in and giving me your insight on all these fights.
I appreciate you having me on your show. Thank you so much.
Anytime, my man.
All right,
brother. Shout out to Coach Frankie. That's my guy. He has a son and he has a podcast with his son. I believe it's called Dynamic Duo. Shout out to them and their channel. Hopefully it grows and go hit that subscribe button on their channel. Yo, Michael, you trying to get me turned up in here. Subriel Matias KOs Elvis Rodriguez. No cap. Get the fuck out of here, man. Elvis Rodriguez, I'm telling you, he is the next big thing as far as in the 140 division. Elvis Rodriguez would knock out Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias don't got enough skills to fuck with Elvis. You fucking crazy? Michael, call in. Call in. You talking all that tough shit. My man Brian Carrasco says, I give Nico a fair shot. Let's see how he develops. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to tell Coach Frankie. I was like, hey, you never know. You know, that's what I'm saying. He can work. I believe anybody in the world could do anything they want as long as they put their mind to it. So I'm not going to discount it as long as they move them carefully. Like, how many champions like have we seen where we're like, come on, man, like, how did this guy get a belt? It's 4 belts out there. You get a weak challenger and for a vacant or something, he can maybe get a title. Who knows? Or maybe he gets knocked out in this fight coming up. I have no idea, but I never want to dismiss a person's chances of developing, especially so early in his career. What does he have? 3-4 fights? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Maybe when he has 20 fights, he works so hard at it that he actually gets good. I don't know. Katie Taylor, Eddie got the judges in the bag. I hope not. I mean, the fight's in New York. Amanda Serrano's from New York. There's going to be a lot of Irish people there, but there's also going to be a lot of Puerto Ricans and even non-Puerto Ricans who are from Brooklyn or from New York that want to support Amanda. So she's definitely going to have her fans there, and hopefully the judges do a good job. The person who's supposed to win gets the decision. Although, to your point, Brian Carrasco, Katie Taylor, I felt lost twice to Persoon. I'm being honest. I felt like she lost twice to her. And now she's fighting Amanda. Who knows? If the fight's close, does she get the advantage on every single one of the scorecards? I have no idea. But hopefully not. Hopefully fucking Amanda gets a stoppage. I'm not predicting a stoppage, but let's hope that happens. And we can all be happy because there will be no controversy when she knocks her out. Come on, Michael. You trying to get me turned up. Subriel gonna maul that boy and pin him in the ropes and land a left hook. And that boy Elvis going night-night. Come on, man. Oh, yeah. Nah, you're right. I'm trying to start something. Listen, man. When and if that fight happens, y'all know damn well. First of all, I would fucking riot if that shit's not here in New York. If it's not here in New York, a Puerto Rican versus the Dominican in New York, and it's not in New York, I will go crazy. Crazy. That's a fight that has to happen, man. I'm telling you. And I have a relationship with people at PBC. So hopefully I can put that bug in their ear, man. Taylor may move up in weight. That's what's looking like. It's looking like he's gonna vacate the WBA, and Puello's gonna fight for a vacant. So when he moves up, all these titles are gonna be vacant. I believe Subriel Matias is number 1 in the IBF. Let me check that because I don't want to be sitting here giving y'all misinformation and then y'all like, nah, don't listen to Broadway. He told me Subriel Matias was number 1 in the IBF and he's not. Let me double check because I'm working off memory. He is number 2. He's number 2 in the IBF. So he's definitely in line to get a title shot. The number 1 guy is called a guy named Jeremias Ponce, who I'm not familiar with. So let's look at his box rec. But yeah, he's about to get a title. He's a little bit more further along in terms of his career as Elvis. So that's why he's fighting for a title. Also, Elvis had that problem with switching promoters. Jeremias Ponce is 30-0, 20 knockouts from Argentina. He's 25 years old, so he's a young guy. All right, that should be a good fight because he has a good knockout percentage. Yeah, so okay. There you go. So he's going to fight for a belt. Have them fight for a belt. Him fight for a belt. And then let's say, Elvis works his way up and fights for one of the other belts, and it could be a unification match. And if it is, they better put it in the garden, and I'm going to be there front and center with this same flag screaming my head off when Subriel Matias is shivering on the floor because my man Elvis Rodriguez knocked him out. Elvis Rodriguez would sleep that man. Subriel Matias don't want no smoke with Elvis. You crazy? Elvis is the best Dominican right now, and I told that to his face when I interviewed him. Yes, saw that. Come on, man. I'm telling you, man. Big time. Joel is going to start thanking Al before and after every show. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you know damn well I've been at KB from Kenneth Buhare from the PBC podcast. Shout out to KB. I've been on his ass about putting a fight card here in the Dominican Day Parade. So hopefully that fight does happen. I'll be super excited if it did. Amanda has to dog it out and go to the body. She's already in excellent condition. Hopefully she can apply the pressure for the duration of the fight. Yeah, Amanda, that's the type of fight she fights anyway. She's a dog type of girl. You know what I'm saying? She comes in aggressive and she's a power puncher. And you remember she stopped that Argentinian girl to the body, you know? So she does go to the body as well. Oh shit. Shout out, hold on. My man Brian Castro says, I'm gonna be watching Valdez on TV, Dodgers on the laptop, and Taylor Serrano on my phone. My man gonna be multitasking. Shout out to my man Bryant. Yeah, Argentinian fighters, they always kind of fight. Look at Lucas Matisse and Marcos Maidana and Sergio Martinez. Yo, you guys remember the Sergio Martinez Paul Williams fight, the first one? That was one of my favorite fights of all time, man. That was a fantastic fight. So yeah, absolutely. This guy, Argentinian fighters, they known to scrap, and they known for being punches. And the guy's 30-0 with 20 knockouts, so he's definitely a puncher himself. Hold on, I got another caller, my man, assistant coach AJ. How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's your question for me?
Oh, cool thing. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So, what's your thoughts? What's your predictions? Stevenson versus Valdez.
I got Stevenson by 11th round KO, and I have Amanda Serrano winning a decision.
Ooh. Now, Stevenson, he can do it. I'm not saying he can't. But honestly, I think Valdez is too tough for Stevenson. And Stevenson, I mean, if he moves around, he pivots, he snipes him, he can do it. But if he wants to go in for that brawl, Valdez got that. And the two female boxers, I don't really know that much about them. But whichever one is better, I'll go with.
Just say Amanda Serrano.
Amanda Serrano.
There you go. Yo, Coach AJ, I appreciate you. You have a great dad, man. He always supports the channel. So I just want to shout out to you, shout out to your father, and shout out to your channel, man. Keep it going. You never know where it could go.
Oh, hey, quick little thing. What's your thought on Castano and Charlo?
Charlo? I haven't made a decision on that fight just yet because I want to rewatch it. But I thought Castano won the first fight. So I'll say that. I did think Castano won the first fight. Ended in a draw, a bit of a controversy, but I thought Castano won.
Okay.
All right. Coach AJ, I appreciate you calling in, my brother. Anytime, man.
All right. Definitely. Thank you.
Peace. Shout out to assistant coach AJ. Him and his father supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate that. Oh, we have another caller. My man Gijo he's one of my personal friends from Twitter. Shout out to Gijo. What's up, my brother?
Yo, what's good, Joel? How's it going?
Tranquilo. Pasándola aquí. What's up with you, man?
Nah, man, just right here. Relaxing a bit. Nah, man, I just wanted to call in and say I think that Valdez-Stevenson fight is going to be a lot closer than people think. I think Stevenson might edge it out, but I think it might be one of those, like, 7-5 type fights.
Really? You see the fight that close?
Bro, I'm telling you, man, Valdez is going to come to fight. I mean, well, from what I seen Stevenson his last fight with Jamal Harriman, he came forward and he was going for the knockout. You know what I mean? So, like the last guy said, if they go into like a brawl, it's gonna be a lot closer. I could see possibly a rematch, or I mean, Stevenson could outbox him too, man. But I wouldn't take Oscar too lightly.
But no, I mean, I know he's tough. That's one thing I know for sure because he had his jaw broken. The guy came in overweight and broke his jaw, and he still beat him. So I'm definitely not going to doubt Oscar Valdez's toughness. You know, he knocked out Burchell in a brutal fashion. He's shown in that fight also boxing skills as well as we've seen him in the past brawl. So I don't want to discount his chances to winning. I just think that Stevenson just boxing IQ is pretty high, man.
I understand that, but I think Eddie Reynoso might come through with like a good game plan too as well. You know what I mean? So I would give Oscar Valdez as like corner. Like overall, I think they would have like he would have the edge in that. You know what I mean? So
So
I
no, go ahead, my bad.
no. I was just gonna say, man, like for Oscar to be effective, man, he's gonna have to like have really good head movement and be able to slip that jab and get inside and work that body. You know what I mean? And tire Shakur out so that way he's not like moving as much around in the ring. You know what I mean? Like that those early rounds, those are gonna be like real important. Like you
Yo,
can't give Shakur a big lead. Like he's
I,
gonna
I,
have to.
absolutely, and I totally agree with you as far as the body work because Shakur Stevenson's movement is what mostly can give him trouble. Like if they're banging, shit, fuck it. It's probably more in favor of Valdez, but I don't think Shakur is gonna necessarily bang out the whole 12 rounds.
Nah,
So
I
if you're
don't
telling
think so
me
neither.
even if he's losing the earlier rounds, but he's landing vicious body shots, I see what you're saying. Like he could start ended up putting it on him towards the end of the fight.
I mean, and I would give. I know, like, don't get me wrong, man. Shakur's like he's one of my favorite young fighters, right? And like we're gonna see what he's made out of in this fight, man. Like this fight is gonna be one of those fights that, like, he's gonna have to fight at some point. You know what I mean? And like we're gonna see, like, if he's willing, because I know he's willing to dish it out, man. I know he's got some mean streak to him as well. You know what I mean? So like this is one of the best. I think it's gonna be one of the best fights that could have been made, and that's probably gonna be for like the year as
Not
well.
I, no, for sure. It's definitely a great fight. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I'm glad it's a unification fight. I love unifications. Get the less belts that are spread out, the better. And it's on ESPN for free. It's not a pay per view. It's not one of those bullshit that they giving us. It's a good fight. It's it's American versus Mexican. It has all the ingredients for it to be a good fight.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like they've been wanting to fight already for a while as well. Is it gonna be the same start time as Katie Taylor and Serrano, or is it like the Katie Taylor comes on first, then it'll be the
Yeah, the Katie Taylor fight, if I'm not mistaken, is gonna like be starting at 10 p.m. right? So meaning like the fight will end at 10:30, and then the ESPN card, like the undercard on ESPN, starts at 10. So like they'll be on at the same time as far as the ESPN undercard as the zone main event. But once that fight is over, probably that's when Stevenson versus Shakur. So the main events won't clash against each other.
all right, yeah, that's good. That's good then, man, because I want to watch both fights, you know what I mean? But if I had to choose, man, I'm gonna pick that Valdez Stevenson fight.
No, I listen. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Who do you have winning in the Amanda versus Katie Taylor fight?
I mean, I'm hoping Amanda beats, and because look, man, the only way unfortunately in boxing, man, you always got to take into account, man, because bullshit happens all the time with judges and all that, right? So like that's why I like for fighters to go and try to get that knockout or get knocked down. That way you win clearly. You know what I mean? Not even like the judges could fuck you over, even though that happens sometimes too. You know what I mean? But
No,
I don't know,
I
man.
know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Eddie B sometimes, because them UK fighters been taking a lot of L's lately. You know what I mean? And they gotta bring something back home. But I mean, I'm hoping Amanda knocks her out. To be honest, man, I'm
Yeah.
expecting a knockout by Amanda maybe in the seventh.
Wow, really? You picking Amanda by TKO or knockout? That's
Yeah,
interesting, man. I
bro,
mean, she is a puncher.
Amanda's
She
so
is
fight.
a puncher.
Bro. She could hit. She hits like she could crack. Like
The, the
you could hear it even when she fights, man. When she lands those punches, are loud.
Specifically her right hook. Her right hook is vicious, man. Like the only reason why I'm hesitant to pick her for a stoppage is one, like she hasn't gotten stoppage in a little bit, and then two, she's really a featherweight. If we're being honest, she's really like that's probably her natural weight class, but she's fighting a full blown lightweight. So Katie Taylor's significantly bigger than her.
Yeah, that's why I think Amanda's gonna work that body.
Okay.
She has to, I feel like she might stop her to the body, because I sometimes feel like Katie Taylor looks like a little fleshy. You know what I mean? She does not like as fit, because Amanda
Yeah.
looks solid.
Nah, yeah, Amanda, Amanda's shoulders, she be like, you know, so you're right. You're right. She be lifting weights and shit. She's always in shape. I've never seen Amanda out of shape. So I definitely
Nah.
could see that wearing her down and shit like that, pounding that body. But I just can't see her getting a stoppage. But I hope you're right, because I hope she gets the stoppage. That way there's no controversy. There's no nervousness when they're reading the scorecards. I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, because that way you get a clear cut winner. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it'll be good for women's boxing. You know what I mean? Because that's what everybody always talks shit. It's boring. You know what I mean? Like they slap with the punches. There ain't like no knockouts or like so. I mean, like this would be like a. It's already a big fight for women's boxing right now, but this would like put it even more over the top.
Nah, for sure, bro. This is the biggest female fight in boxing history, and there's not even a close second. I can't even tell you like, oh, is this one and the other one.
The Clarissa Shields and that other UK chick. I mean, possibly,
Yeah,
I guess.
see, UK chick. Like you can't even tell me the name of the chick. You know
No,
what I'm
man,
saying?
I mean, yeah, because I honestly, bro, I'm not really into like the whole like. I watch them fight. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't really know the names like that, like if I would with
Oh,
everything else.
but you know Katie Taylor and you know Amanda Serrano.
Oh, yeah, oh
This
yeah,
is the
and pretty
biggest
much.
fight. This is the biggest fight. Again, I'm not sure as far as the ticket sales, how they have sold. I will be I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to the fight. I'm actually waiting for my father to let me know. But I'm 90% sure I'm gonna be at the fight. So I'll let you guys know if it was sold out or not, or if it's one of
Man,
those.
you can be pulling up, Paul. Now you close in with PBC, man. You can't let Al see you at them the zone cards.
Hey man, listen, I'm a fan of boxing. I was just at the Berlanga fight. That's a top rank card. So if that's the case,
He's coming back, right? He's fighting Alexis Angulo.
yeah. Oh, it's a good thing you brought that up, guys. So uh Edgar Berlanga is announced that he's going to be fighting June 11th. He's going to be fighting Romer Alexis Angulo, the guy who fought Zurdo and he fought Benavidez, the Colombian guy. They're going to be fighting on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. But I have inside information, so I'm glad you brought that up, Gio. I have inside information as to how the undercard is going to look, and I'm definitely listen. This undercard is really, really good. Let me read the undercard for you guys. I might have to go to this one. I wasn't gonna go because of how bad Edgar Berlanga's last performance was, but so Xander Zayas is gonna be on the card. He doesn't have an opponent yet. Also, John Bowser versus Josue Vargas. So John Bowser is undefeated. Josue Vargas has one loss. That one loss to Jose Cepeda. The loser of this fight, I think, is gonna get released by Top Rank. I'm calling that right now. Because John Bowser turned in a horrible performance in his last fight. Boring ass performance.
Where is he from?
He's Puerto Rican.
No, not Vargas, the other dude.
Yeah, they both Puerto Rican.
Oh, they're both Puerto Rican. All right.
Yeah, and then we got I don't know if you know this about me, but Henry LeBron, he's a 130 Puerto Rican fighter. He's also going to be on the card. He doesn't have an opponent yet. And then there's two other Puerto Ricans that are fighting each other, Omar Rosario and Julio Rosa. Both of them are like 4-0 and 5-0. So this is a decent undercard for a Puerto Rican Day Parade. You got two fights where they're both Puerto Rican. Then you got Henry LeBron, a prospect I'm super high on. Xander Zayas, who a lot of prospects are high on. And then you got Berlanga fighting Romer Alexis Angulo, who's not for nothing. He's a good fighter. He can crack. I like this kind of level of opponent for where Edgar Berlanga is in his career. What's your thoughts on him?
No, I think that's like you just hit the nail on the head. Exactly where he needs to fight at this moment in his career. You know what I mean? We're gonna see what he learned, or if he's been training, if he's been in the lab. What else has he added to his arsenal? You know what I mean? If he added some head movement, you know what I mean? Is he bobbing and weaving right now? Is he gonna start jabbing to the bodies, or is he just kind of just start throwing haymakers?
Yeah. I was talking to, I don't know if you know Truth from Twitter.
Yeah, man. We be chopping it up on the spaces.
Yeah. Truth. Me and him, we were going back. We were talking earlier, and I was like, I don't even know what to expect from Berlanga because, like, I don't feel like I know his identity yet. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't think he knows his identity yet. He doesn't know. Am I this knockout puncher who's knocking people out in the first round? Am I this boxer who can dance and do all this? Or am I a sharpshooter? Like, I don't think he knows who he is. See, like Crawford knows who he is. Like, I don't think he has a question as to who he is as a fighter. Same thing with Fury. Same thing, whatever, all the top guys. But when I look at Edgar Berlanga, I look at like a guy who's looking for an identity. He doesn't know who he is just yet. So I don't know.
Is he? He's like 24. He's 24, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Berlanga.
I believe he's 25. But yo, when the fuck did 25 become a kid? Like, yo, you're a grown-ass man.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Like, you telling me he's 18, 21, I'll be like, coño, like at that age, I didn't know my dick from my ass at that age.
No, you're right.
You 25, bro? Oh,
you know what it is? What I feel what Berlanga is, I think Berlanga's got like blown so much smoke up his ass. He needs to get away from like the whole entourage, man, and just go like and do like a old school boxing camp. Nobody around as allowed unless there's people in the corner, you know what I mean, and shit like that, man. Because he has too many people around his head, man, telling him he's the greatest thing since ever, you know what I mean? And like he needs to just like get humble, man, and stay focused.
Yeah, he needs to get out of New York. He needs to go to do a camp in Vegas or in Big Bear, California, or go to Tijuana and fucking get some sparring with those wild ass Mexicans out there. He needs some dog in him. Needs to learn, find his identity, get out his comfort zone.
He needs to stay the hell away from Tijuana, man. That's a fucking party city. Yeah, man, bro. Out of here it's a party town pretty much. Now he needs to stay away from Tijuana. Big Bear would be the best.
That's a boxing city. Last time we spoke.
Yeah, it's a boxing city, bro. There's always fights going on out here. You know what I mean? And like, but since like Rosarito's close to the beach. Like it's a party town, bro. Cause like you got like YG be coming out here. You got like rappers come out here and do shows and shit.
Oh shit! Never mind.
If you remember, what was it like last year? You had Canelo doing what was it like a Maluma's concert, and it was in like Rosarito, and they're like, shouldn't he be training right now and shit? And he was out there partying out there.
Oh, all right. So never mind. But point is, he needs to get out of New York. I feel like he's the same way you saying TJ is a party city. Yo, New York, there's way too much to do at all times of the day. Like, that's the shit. And he's a celebrity. So I know he know where the after hours spot. I'm not, and by the way, I've never heard about him being in clubs, or I've never seen him in a club or whatever. But point is, there's after hour spots here, there's clubs that like underground spots where you only certain people know that
too much
go on to 10 in the morning and shit. So he needs to just get out of here, focus in and be around some different kind of people.
But he needs to take his ass to like Delaware or something like that, right? Where there's like nobody there.
You know who I think how I would like to see him train with? I like to see him train with Tyson Fury's trainer, Javon Sugar Hill.
Oh yeah. You go to the Kronk.
Go to Kronk in Detroit. That's you totally out your comfort zone. You in Detroit, and then they're gonna give you an identity there. You'll figure out what kind of fighter you are there. And
I like that a lot, man, because you know what? And Kronk has a history of training power hitters, you know what I mean? Power punchers. That's what they're known for dudes that could crack, and like they know how to hone that.
No, and listen, I have connections here to almost all the gyms in here in New York. And what I hear from here, everybody tells me, yo, his hand speed is crazy. His power is crazy. The only thing is, people tell me they doubt his chin. Some people doubt his heart. Some people, some people doubt his skills. But they tell me like the hand speed and the power is legit. You telling me, all right, you got the hand speed and the power. That's half the fucking game, basically. Take him to Kronk, learn some skills, figure it out, have an identity, and you could be recharged because you out your comfort zone. You learned some new skills. You met some new people. You sparred some new people. And he has a good trainer in Andre Rozier, and he's in a good gym where he spars Daniel Jacobs, Derevyanchenko, Marcus Brown. There's a lot of good guys in that gym, but I just feel like he needs to get out his comfort zone. I think it's more that than anything else.
No, exactly, man. He needs to get out of like all the people kissing his ass pretty much in New York.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was at his last fight. Yo, Dave East was there. Jim Jones, Mano, Fat Joe. All these celebrities was there. And to be honest, at 24 years old, that could distract you.
Oh yeah, come on, bro. Without a doubt, they got fucking Edgar doing leaning back and shit before he walks out to like the ring entrance and everything, bro. It's like I said, man, he's got too many people around him. Like you said, man, I'm not saying he's out there partying, but if he knows all these people, man, you don't think he gets invited? Like, hey, I'm gonna go do a show here, this or that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or to private parties or what or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, these listening parties. Yo, I got some concert tickets. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go. And you out, even just going out and not drinking and staying up to 2 a.m. Even that right there is bad. Just that.
Man, he ain't got no legs, bro. Because you know he's getting females up the ass too. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like
his. You know, it's funny. His wife or girlfriend, I don't know what she is. Went to high school with my brother, and so he's taken. I mean, whether. I don't know if he just had a baby too. I don't know if he's doing anything else, but
if he's not, I mean, like he has that temptation 24/7 though. At the very least.
Good looking kid, always iced out on TV, getting promoted. Everybody knows you. You know, probably some girl, her man is a fan of you, and you're like, so.
Nah, bro, like I said, too many distractions, man. That's why I feel like Vegas wouldn't even be a good spot neither. You know what I mean? Like to train in Vegas, you got to be super disciplined.
Yeah, because it's gambling, all those clubs and shit. Yo, like I said, go to Detroit and go to that Kronk.
Yeah, there ain't nothing to do. I don't know. I've never been out to Detroit, man. That's a question for Lefty.
Yeah, Lefty guys left. Yeah,
Lefty would know, man. But Kronk would be perfect for him, to be honest.
Yeah, man, get around Tyson Fury. See how he trains. See how he, moves. You know what I'm saying? Like Javon Sugarhill is a pupil of Emmanuel Stewart, man. Emmanuel Stewart, the people he trained Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko, Julio Cesar Chavez at one point. Thomas Hearns. I could go on and on and on. Miguel Cotto. Listen, we know Emmanuel Stewart's resume is deep. Yo, bro, and he gave all that knowledge to Javon Sugarhill, and look what Javon Sugarhill's doing now with Tyson Fury. Maybe he can, get you to do something like that.
Not facts, man. That's very true, man. Honestly, man, Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder to that gym, man, because that would have been like the perfect gym for Deontay Wilder, to be honest.
I always said that. I always, back when Emmanuel Stewart was alive, I always said, like, yo, what the fuck is he doing with I don't even know, Jay Diaz, whatever his name is. And although Mark Breland was a great fighter back in the 80s, gold medalist, 2-time welterweight champion, I'm not going to dismiss him, but he don't train nobody else. Just because you were a great fighter in your time don't mean, you were a great trainer. You got what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, with the facts. Usually the good fighters usually make the sorriest trainers, and the dudes that weren't that really good boxers make the better trainers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look at Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach was getting his ass whooped inside that ring like for a long time, and then he came out to be one of the best like trainers. You know what I mean?
You're right. And so, no disrespect to Mark Breland. Listen, I'm not disrespecting Mark Breland. He was a great fighter. Deontay Wilder never developed his skills, and I don't want to blame him, but both you and JDS was in his camp for like 10 years. You can't get the motherfucker to throw a left hook and bounce on his speed and move his head a little bit more.
I wasn't inside of that camp, but at the same time, maybe he was trying him to get to do those things, but Wilder just fell in love with that right hand and his power, man, because shit, that was devastating.
You know what I mean? No, you're totally right. The thing is with Deontay Wilder, right? What if I was his trainer? Because he would go swing as hard as he can, and it'll be these wild shots. What I would try to tell him is like, yo, not every punch has to be hard. You such a hard hitter, you punching somebody correctly at 50% of your power is just as effective as you throwing a wild ass punch at 100% of your power. So that's what I would try to get him to calm down in the ring. All right, now once I got you to do that, now I got to teach you little tricks as far as counter punching. Talk about, doing a pull counter, when he just lean back and throw a right hand over it, a power jab, a left hook, an uppercut, things that he just didn't have, toolbox that he didn't have in his box, in his bag. Like he didn't have these tools in his toolbox.
Honestly, in his last fight, he kind of impressed me, man. It's just that his legs failed him, man. He was definitely like jabbing to the body, and that jab to the body was like super fucking effective in that fight. It's just that, man, he ran out of, he got tired. You know what I mean? He didn't work out in his legs, man. He had a big ass upper body, but he had really skinny legs.
Yeah, that's another thing. I heard he don't run, that he used to do other things to get in shape. Bro, running is important, man.
Pretty much. That's your whole endurance and conditioning right there.
Yeah, man. And look, and that's what Tyson Fury was doing. Tyson Fury was leaning on him and shit. Boom. That's what tired him out. And see, and if he had boxing skills, he could have, because his reach, I believe, is like 81 inches. Like I believe he had a longer reach than Tyson Fury. I could be wrong on that. Let me double check that before I'm giving wrong misinformation. But my point is, had he developed a power jab with as hard as he hit, he could have dropped a lot of dudes with that, just a jab. And he never ever developed the left hook.
No, man, Wilder was the most exciting heavyweight in our era. You know what I mean? And Tyson Fury is just the best.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, and then Wilder's gonna be one of those what ifs. If he would have developed better, bro, he could have been not just the best in this era, man, but he could have been one of the best of all time.
Yeah, he just never had skills. He just had power. That's it.
And I'm not hating on the dude, you know what I mean? Because they'll be like, you'll be like, oh, I'm hating, man, but it's not, bro. I'm just saying what I'm seeing, you know what I mean?
No. Again, I was a Wilder fan up until,
I still am, bro. It's just because I like dudes, like I said, that go for the knockouts, man. Those are my type of favorite fighters.
The reason why I'm no longer a Wilder fan is because I ain't like what he did to Mark Breeden. All right, you fired him, cool. All right, like listen, trainers get fired every day. I'm not gonna sit here and criticize you for firing somebody, but then you say he put poison to your water and that he was a disloyal trainer for throwing in the towel when you were getting your ass whooped. And like, yo, you saying things on this man's reputation that could cost him a check in the future. Because if I heard, yo, that guy put fucking poison in some guy's water and to drug me, and then that's why I came out all dizzy and lost the fight, I'm not gonna want to train with that guy. I'm like, who? So after he said that fuck shit, I stopped fucking with Wilder. Not because I ain't like him, just because, like, yo, my man, you cannot do that to somebody. That's wrong.
No, I get it. No, that's true, man. You can't like speak on like a truth that's not there. If it's definitely not true, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it was true, fuck it. Fuck Mark Breland. But it's not true. At least not to my knowledge. There's been no proof. And whatever he thinks happened in his head, I just can't picture Mark Breland doing that. I'm sorry. I've met him a bunch of times. What incentive does he have to do that if you're his fighter and you would have, let's say you would have won, now he's going to get a bigger paycheck for your next fight because you just beat Tyson Fury.
That's why mentality is super important, man, because as soon as you lose your O, like the way you bounce back or the way you react is like super fucking important. Are you willing to take like ownership, and are you going to look to improve from that so you could get better? Or are you going to just start like blaming other people and then like not look at yourself? And that goes in general for like anybody, because I could apply that same thing to myself too. You know what I mean? That's not just in boxing.
No, you're right. You're right. I get it. That's why it's important to keep people in your camp that keep you humble, to keep you grounded. You understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
you need that, man, because if you're not humble, man, your feet is gonna leave the ground one day, and I mean, and you're gonna, when you crash back down, it's gonna be hard.
No, and I don't know if you ever watched this podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game, but there's one thing. The guy, one of the hosts on there, his name is Gilly. He said that nobody's too big for checking, and what he meant was like nobody should be too big that, oh, you're this big star that your mans can be like, yo, my man, you bugging, you wilding out, sit down, do that. Like once you get to the point where the people around you are scared to check you, you need to check yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You need to know that, all right, nobody's too big. You're just a human just like me. All right, you may be more famous, more popular, better than me, or whatever you want to call it. But everybody needs to understand that they could be in the wrong too. And Wilder was absolutely in the wrong. He accused, listen, the excuses that came out of Wilder was crazy.
No, yeah. Like the whole thing was crazy, man. But either way, man, I got respect from him because he wanted to go out in his shield and he went out in his shield. You know
No,
what I
he
mean?
did. He did. He did.
You know what I mean?
I'm not. He's a
He
fighter. He's a fighter. I'm not gonna blame a fighter for being upset that the trainer stopped the fight. But damn, bro, to say he poisoned your water and that he's a disloyal training, alluding that maybe he got paid off, like yo, that's taking it a step too far, man.
Nah, yeah, it was fucked up because he Berlin became the scapegoat. You know what I mean? He became the excuse. So it was like it was kind of.
No, and Breland, like, yo, he's been in your camp for what, like over 10 years. Not only that, he was a great fighter, bro. A gold medalist, a two-time welterweight champion, one of the glorious divisions, the welterweight. He was twice the champion. Like,
Came
and
out in
that's
the
what you
wheelie
do to a
box.
legend like that?
Didn't he have like a cereal box too and everything, right?
I'm not sure. Maybe, but he also has the record for most New York Golden Glove championships. He won it, I believe, 5 times. So, some other guy named Shamel Pagan tied it, but he has the record for most Golden Glove wins, most Golden Glove tournament wins. I believe he's 22-0 with 21 knockouts in the Golden Gloves. Like,
And
this dude was nasty.
man, how do you, I feel like this year's a great year for boxing because we're talking about that Berlanga card, but then they got that June 25th card with Bam Rodriguez and that Sir Rowe inside, right? And they got like that card look fucking stacked. They got Ray Martinez and they got Arroyo, and then they got the girl from Chicago, I don't want to butcher her name. Plus,
Yeah,
they got I forgot the other dude that's gonna fight
hold on.
MJ and Ronnie Rios, I think.
Yeah. MJ Akhmadaliev.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the last name, but
It's all good. It's all good. It's I honestly with the Russian or let me just say Eastern European, I'll be having problems with the last names as well. But yeah, no, that's a stat card, and the best part about it is if you got the zone, that's it. It's not a pay per view. It's not nothing. You just sit down, put
yeah.
up the app, and watch and enjoy.
Yep, pretty much. I just hope they had picked a better venue, man, like a venue where they would like it will look like they sold out or something. You know what I mean? Because that's a big ass venue. They're
The
fighting
Alamo
at thinking
Dome.
the Alamo Dome, man. It's like 70,000 people.
Yeah, and that's definitely not selling 70,000 tickets, but. I no boxing's in a good space. I almost sound like a broken record every time I come on speaking about how stacked the cards are. Like again, at this Saturday we got 2 major cards. One's for undisputed, the other one is a 2-belt unification, and then the next week we got Canelo versus Bivol. Canelo, the biggest star in boxing.
How do you see that fight going?
Yo, listen, man, I give Bivol a real chance. He's big, he's tall, has great footwork, has a good jab. And although, yes, Canelo has had experience with taller fighters. Look, Callum Smith, I believe, is 6'3", and I believe Bivol is only 6'1". So I do see how, like, people could be like, yeah, that height shit don't mean nothing. I can see that, believe me. But at some point, you have to respect height. You have to respect size. I don't know if you saw Canelo Alvarez. He was on the Hot Boxing podcast with Mike Tyson. And he was saying, like, no, I'm staying at 168. That's going to be my division. I'm never moving up. I'm not going to give my advantage, to the other fighter and this, that, and that. What I took from that is he fought Kovalev, and I don't know, he got touched up in that Kovalev fight. I felt like he got hit with those light heavyweight punches and was like, you know what? I got the win. I got the knockout, but let me move back down. Let me stay down there. He must have forgot how bad he got it. He got touched up in that fight and now wants to move up. I give Bivol a legit shot. I haven't picked the winner just yet. I'll pick a winner next week, Wednesday, when I go live, but it's a close fight. It's a 50-50 fight to me, to be honest. And people who try to shit on Canelo's choices of opponent, they'll overlook this fight. But this is a tough guy. This is the number 2 ranked light heavyweight for a belt. So I have it a 50-50 fight. How you see it?
I mean, I see it too, like maybe 55-45, maybe to Canelo, just on the experience alone, like the championship, you know what I mean, and the lights and like the fight week, everything that comes with it. And the only thing with Bivol that scares me, bro, is that he doesn't go to the body like I would like him to. You know what I mean? He does just keeps it more technical 1-2, and it keeps his distance. and all that. But if Canelo could get in the inside, man, and work that body, you know what I mean? That either that overhand right or he's gonna catch him with a left hook sooner or later.
I, I'm just scared that because I'm a Canelo fan, so that's why I'm saying why I'm scared. I'm just scared that Canelo. You know how Canelo loses always like the first 4 or 5 rounds trying to measure the guy out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
gonna fall
scared that he
behind on the
does that
scorecard.
here and then realizes like, no, this motherfucker is beating me, and then it becomes too late, and maybe he wins the last 3 rounds, but it's too late already because the guy won the first 9. You know,
Yep.
I can see that happening. I can see definitely Bivol winning those early rounds because Canelo's trying to figure him out. And then he goes, all right, I got to figure it out. And then Bivol makes a little adjustment with his great footwork and his height where Canelo goes, fuck, now what do I got to do? I have to get the stoppage. Now let me get a little bit more careless to get the stoppage. And he can't. And then Bivol wins the decision. Who knows?
I mean, I was rewatching that Bivol and Joe Smith Jr. fight, and Joe Smith kind of rocked. What was it like Bivol in the 10th or 11th round, towards the end of it, and Bivol was like shaking up. So I was like, all right, so like he's vulnerable somehow. But another thing they're not looking at is like he's trained by Joel Diaz, and you know Joel Diaz wants to be known as the best Mexican trainer too. So like he's gunning for a win too. You know what I mean? So that's like another little backstory playing out in that fight.
Yeah, I mean. Joel Diaz, I feel like he doesn't give good instructions in the corner. It's always like, come on, man, you can do it. What? Go out there and beat this guy. You're better than him. I never really hear him give like solid instructions. You ever catch that, or am I bugging?
No, yeah, that's that fighter in him. You know what I mean? Because he's an ex-fighter too. I feel like he's not like a natural trainer. And like Eddie Reynoso's a natural trainer. He never,
Sure.
the dude never boxed a day in his life, man. Just look at him, you know what I mean? But like he's a good trainer. You know what I mean? And like he said, he gives instructions in there.
Yeah, because that's what I find most important that a cornerman should do. Like, now it's okay to pump a guy up if that's what he needs. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, you see he's slowing down, you see he's unmotivated, or it's the last round and he needs to win the round. Where you're like, come on, man, you can do it. This, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. But you also need to tell me, all right, yo, man, that hand is coming down, pick it up. And when he hits it, make sure you catch and shoot with a right hand over it. And then you step to the side and do this and do that. I never really hear Joel Diaz really do that. Like, I don't know.
No, I get what you're hearing. Or though like adjustments within the fight, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because not all the time your game plan is gonna work. You're gonna have to be like, oh shit, damn, I fucked up. All right, well, now let me do this.
Because he could be training for something the whole fight, and when you get in there, you notice that the other guy's quicker than you, or his hand speed is a lot better than what you think it was, or something.
Yeah. Let me look up the Canelo undercard. I have all I know is Montana Love is gonna be on the undercard. That's the only fight that I know. Let me look it up, and then maybe we could discuss the undercard as well.
I'm not sure how that undercard really is looking. Okay.
It's actually decent.
Yeah, I'm about to head out, man. But before I leave, man, quick question: how many more games before you give in and go to a Yankees game?
I'm boycotting, man. Nah, you know damn well I'm probably not gonna go. I don't know if by the All-Star break, they keep doing their thing, how they doing it right now. And yo, shout out to Anthony Rizzo, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rizzo out there's balling, man. But you're talking about you want to wait until July. Nah, I can't see you waiting until July.
You know,
they're gonna go on a streak. The temptation is gonna be too much, bro. I'm tempted to go to that Giants Dodger game next week.
Shit, I can't blame you, man. I know you guys lost the last couple games, but your team's still looking good, man. And the Giants, man, that's a team you're gonna have a good back and forth.
Nah, man, that's so those games are always fun,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's a true rivalry, man. Hey, man, but when you out there at that Yankee game, man, you're gonna be like one of them dudes with the baby catching that ball, right?
I definitely won't bring my baby to a baseball game, them fucking home runs or something like that. But I say I'm boycotting the Yankees because I ain't like the moves they made in the offseason. But honestly, if they keep winning like this, if Anthony Rizzo keeps hitting these home runs, I know myself, man. That like I get that itch, bro. That's what I'm always drinking out of my Yankee cup. I don't know if you can see the screen.
Yeah,
I'm
bro, I see
always repping my team. I always buy Yankee shit all the time. I haven't bought no Yankee shit because I've been boycotting, but you're right. I might have to scratch that itch.
it.
Let's see how the season keeps going.
Bro, I'm feeling the same way right now, man. I was talking about, man, I'm gonna save my money, man. I ain't trying to go to a game right now, man. But I was looking at tickets today for next week already. So I was
I
like,
get
man, because I know Broadway's a big baseball fan too. So I was like, I know he's getting that same itch right now.
Hell yeah, I'm watching all these games. Yo, you know what's the best thing? Every time I've watched the game with my son, except one game, we won. So I'm
There you
like,
go,
damn, you
man.
good luck.
There you go. See, I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
man.
man. All right, man. You have a good one, man.
Let's hope for that Dodgers Yankees World Series.
Bro, that shit, that'll be dope, man.
For sure.
That shit would be amazing. You know what I mean? The baseball needs that, bro. They need the ratings. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
All
All
right,
right, my
man.
brother.
Take it easy, man. Enjoy the fights this weekend, man, and have a good one.
All right, same to you, my brother. All right. Shout out to Gijo, my boy. That's my friend from Twitter. We go a lot. We go a lot back and forth on the Twitter Spaces, as well as tweeting each other about baseball and boxing. That's why he brought up the Yankees to me. He knows I'm a big Yankee fan. He's a big Dodgers fan. So we're hoping for a Yankees Dodgers World Series where my Yankees could get, beat his team, and we could have a whole, back and forth on Twitter about it. I'm definitely going to be talking baseball on this channel every now and then. It's still going to be a boxing channel, but every now and then, y'all just going to have to suck up with a little 3-minute video of me ranting on the Yankees every now and then. Just letting y'all know, giving y'all a heads up. But anybody else want to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I definitely enjoy talking with you guys and talking boxing. Boxing is in my blood. When I'm not talking on here, I'm talking on the Twitter space, man. That's how I am, man. But JD Alvarado asked me earlier. I had seen the question. I wanted to get back to it because I had a couple people on the phone line. Says, do you think Elvis can surpass Joan Guzman in this boxing game? In terms of skills, no. If we're talking skills, but in terms of accomplishments, yes. Joan Guzman had Hall of Fame type skills, and some people may disagree with me. That's fine, but maybe you didn't look closely enough. Joan Guzman was a wizard with his defense, and it was fantastic. He was a fantastic, beautiful fighter to watch. He was actually Jermell Charlo's favorite fighter, which is now why Joan Guzman is his assistant trainer. But he just wasn't disciplined enough. He didn't make any weight. Excuse me. He had trouble making weight. He would miss weights all the time, and he claims he had a thyroid problem. Another time he claimed that, it was because, I'm not making fun of this. His mother passed away, and that, he was stressed and he couldn't make the weight. And then there was another time where he tested positive for a diuretic, and it's like, he got in his own way. If that guy had discipline, I guarantee you we're looking at a 3, 4, 5 weight division champion, and he would have ended up becoming a Hall of Famer. But due to his lack of discipline, he's one of the biggest what ifs in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I do think Elvis Rodriguez could surpass him in accomplishments. But you telling me skill for skill, can he surpass Joan Guzman? Absolutely not. There's very few fighters who could surpass Joan Guzman in skills. And I wish, with YouTube, I could, show y'all some highlights of this, man. But this dude was nice, man. Like, he was a good fighter. I'm going to have him on the show one day because he's definitely an important figure in Dominican boxing history. He was an Olympian, and he has a lot of interesting stories that maybe you guys aren't privy to, that I could interview him, maybe get it out of him. But he was probably the greatest Dominican fighter in terms of skill, in terms of accomplishments. Probably I would probably have to go with Carlos Cruz. A lot of people are not familiar with Carlos Cruz, but Carlos Cruz actually beat Mando Ramos, who was a Hall of Famer back in the 60s, I believe. 60s or 70s. Don't quote me on the decade. And he also beat a Hall of Famer in Carlos Ortiz, the Puerto Rican guy, Puerto Rican fighter, who's also a Hall of Famer. So he has 2 wins over Hall of Fame fighters. He had a very short reign as a champion, but he was a lineal champion. So shout out to Carlos Cruz. I believe he's the greatest Dominican fighter of all time, if we're going that route. But yeah, man, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If anybody wants to call in, have a conversation with me, ask me anything about Dominican boxing, for sure, you know, you're more than welcome to. Y'all know I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. If there's an active fighter right now, I interviewed him. If he a Dominican boxer, an active Dominican boxer, I interviewed him, man. I was on a Twitter space going off on some dude. I was like, yo, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. He tried to say it was somebody else. I had to cut his legs off and let him know, no, it's me. So I get passionate when it comes to that. But yeah, man, looks like nobody else wants to call in. I appreciate you guys coming on in. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.